Welcome to Deliciously Motivated Mindset, hosted by Deborah and Moira. This podcast is designed to help listeners unlock their full potential, both personally and professionally, so they can thrive, not just survive. Deborah and Moira explore how natural tendencies don't always serve individuals and provide insights on how to harness existing strengths. Their goal is to equip listeners with the habits, mindset shifts, and strategies needed for lasting, meaningful change. Finding purpose and fulfillment can be challenging, but this podcast offers expert conversations, practical advice, and valuable tools to help align with a true sense of purpose and create a more fulfilling life. So grab a notebook, open your notes app, and get ready to take in some game-changing insights. Let's dive in.
Welcome, dear listeners. Welcome, dear Deb.
Hi.
Hello, my dear OMG. We've got a goodie today. We are going to have a really interesting conversation. Well, I'm saying it's interesting. Well, of course it is, because it's us.
Oh, this is it just feels different. Even when we were talking about the topic, I was like, oh, this has a different feel to this one.
Yes, it
So
does.
hold on to your britches, people.
Hold on. We're going to be talking about strategies to manage self-fulfilling prophecies. Here we are. This is Debz and Moira with another one of our deliciously motivated mindset conversations. If you've listened to us before, you know that we like to just feel into the energy of the topic that we're going to talk about, but we also like to just pause for a wee moment and focus on creating some heart coherence. In fact, I was having a conversation with a client the other day, and we were always doing this. We always start our sessions with a little bit of heart coherence, and she was saying, this is needed. We need this. The whole collective needs this. The planet needs this. So that's why I think it's such an important piece to just start our time together by focusing on the area of the heart. And you can put your hand on your heart space. I always do that. One hand or both hands, and just really set the intention that as you breathe in, you're breathing into your heart space. And then as you breathe out, you're breathing out from your heart space, sending a beam, a stream, a ribbon of beautiful love energy coming through you and sharing it with the world. So breathe in whatever calming, soothing energy that you need at this moment. Pause for a moment, letting it fill you up. And now breathe out, sending your loving energy out into the cosmos, into this universe. And as we do exercises like this, we're actually connecting each one of our energies to one another. Such a powerful, soothing, calming exercise. Just takes a few moments. Breathe in and breathe out. Connecting you, feeling your body connected to this space and time. Feel yourself grounded. And feel yourself connected with every one of our energies, and the energies of everyone else listening to this episode, regardless of where or when. Just breathe it in and feel that connection. And then, like I said, we're going to be talking about strategies to manage self-fulfilling prophecies. I love this topic. I hope you do too. And so I encourage you to grab your favorite note-taking device and let's get into this. Managing self-fulfilling prophecies.
Ooh la la. I'll just make sure my phones are on silent as we go into this. I think about this and clearly I think about this. And you said you talked to somebody this week and they said we need this. And I think it's more and more evident of how much we require to. Our world has changed. Our world has changed and changing.
Yep. And changing. Yeah.
As quick as we can. So can you get with the times? Like It's just one of my strategies to manage self is get with the times and move with the world, because whether you like it or not, it is changing.
Mhm.
But when I say move with the world, but remember who you are in this world.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if like a really if we're not moving, we're going to be left behind, and that's not a pleasant place to be for anyone. But so remember who your core is, but know that your core, the side swipe of that, your core of your essence can change
Mhm.
from the people around you, from your experiences. So if you think you're a marathon runner and today you wake up and you've pulled a hamstring, you're no longer that marathon runner. You're a marathon runner in training again. Or
Yeah.
like just know that things change and happen around you. But get with the times, people. Like, does it I better write these things down. Does
Get
that
with the times. Get
yeah,
with
get
the
with the
times.
times, but don't lose yourself in this process.
No, and I think that's an important piece. I think it's also very important to realize how powerful you are. I mean, it,
Mm.
it, it is very valid to say get with the times and realize that change is happening. And I mean, that is actually a constant of life that we can all depend upon. Change will happen, whether we feel ready
A change
for it or
will
not.
happen.
Yes.
Will happen.
Yeah, it's not a negotiation.
Yeah.
But I wanted to kind of unpack this idea a little bit about the self-fulfilling prophecies, because this makes me think about the four agreements already in our
Oh, of
conversation. So
course. Of
so you
course.
see the four agreements right here. What the self-fulfilling prophecy, the don't make assumptions and don't take things personally, because that's why I'm saying this is so important about the self-fulfilling prophecies, because if you make an assumption and say, oh, the last time I was on this road, um, the detour took me forever and I was late. Actually, that was an example I gave Deb before we even hit record. It's like if I'm stuck in a traffic jam and think, oh my God, I'm not gonna make it, I'm not gonna make it, I'm gonna miss my flight.
Yeah.
Guess what happens?
Which giggles, because you and I have talked about just that particular one many times. You're like, I'm going to get there at the most perfect time,
Exactly.
and the
Yes.
lights and I think about that often. Okay, I'll let you carry on for this one. Yeah.
But the thing is that it's so important. I want to weave together the four agreements with the acknowledgement of the power of our own creation.
Mm.
So if we keep ruminating and telling stories about, oh my God, this is going to fall apart, this is going to fall apart, this is going to fall apart, then it falls apart and we think, oh my God, see?
See, there's the evidence. See, I knew this
Yes.
was going to happen. Happens to me all the time. Doesn't happen to anyone else. And you run that marathon in a sprint
Yep.
situation.
So that's the thing though, is to sometimes we do that. Sometimes we let things fall apart and then go, oh wait a minute. I just created that. That was a self-fulfilling prophecy. I made that come into being. Now
Yeah.
that's not a thing to then incite a lot of fear,
Mm.
because we all do it. We all go into that worst case scenario. Oh my God, I am going to miss the bus. Oh my God, this is what's going to happen. That's fine. That is our human condition. We do that. But if you catch yourself doing it, that's where you can do something like cancel, cancel, cancel,
Mm.
because it doesn't have to come into being. And that's why I'm saying it's not about a fear-based thing or a, oh my God, I can't speak out what I'm really feeling. No, speak it out, but then take ownership for what's going on, right?
Yes, it's just it's as I'm going to say it's as simple as reframing.
Yeah.
Just it's as simple as, and I say it's as simple. I laugh, giggle. Um, Nothing simple. There's another freaking thing that you do. Nothing simple for me. But if you can reframe that, because that cancel, 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 which I said that. I
You
didn't
did
say it very.
it. You did
That's a
it.
just take a moment for that one. We'll swallow that one. Um, but reframing means is it true, or is this just a fear I'm feeding, or it actually gets you to look internally in that seen, heard, acknowledged that we talk about, if you can take that back to that, but just reframing that allows you to see the bigger picture.
Yes. And that's the piece, right?
That's that pattern. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's to see the bigger picture and see the roles that you're playing in it. And if you don't like the roles you're playing in it, change them.
Yeah.
Right? It's about, I like that you brought in the seen, heard, and acknowledged, because that's an important part too, is if you maintain that sense of ownership, that everything that happens through me, for me, it's by my request, it's for my highest and best good. Sometimes we need to sit in that and go, okay, this situation that kind of fell apart or didn't go the way I wanted it to, but really it did. So what's the gift? What's the gift? Oh, which then makes me realize we need gratitude in here.
Yeah, well,
So
I was just thinking, so I've actually put the see the roles you're playing as actually a separate tip, because that, as much as we go back to those 4 agreements, I think that's really vital to actually see where you are. Not necessarily how did you manifest, just, okay, I can see this. I lent in and this is what's happened. Yeah, I can take ownership of that. Own your shit, Pip. Ownership.
there you
But
go.
but from that, and absolutely, then there's gratitude and trust.
Yes, most definitely. And that, because that's the thing, right? You know what? Before we talked today, I was listening to another video, and she said she was talking about gratitude and saying every single day you sit and do gratitude. And she says, even if it means what am I grateful for? I'm just grateful for the tip of my nose right now.
Oh, this is me who's got something on the tip of my nose and I keep scratching it. It's even funnier that you say that.
But that's why I'm saying is that because sometimes people can get really stuck in a funk, and maybe they've got too many self-fulfilling prophecies that have kind of all coalesced and landed in like, yeah, and I've got nothing to be grateful for. There's
Yeah.
always, 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 always something to be grateful for. Even if it's, I'm grateful for the chair I'm sitting on. I'm grateful for the fact that I can speak. I'm
Yeah.
grateful. I'm grateful for the bed that I get to sleep in tonight. Those types of things. And
So they sound small, but I think that's the other thing is that keep moving, because they may sound small to some. I'm grateful for the bed I'm in, but when you are grateful for the bed you're in.
yeah.
Like, I know I go to bed at night, at night, yeah, I do go to bed at night, and
Mhm.
I literally go, oh, and I feel like my bed's just, oh, I'm here, and I feel that, and like my noise. Just for the record, I do have a moan when I get into bed. I'm like, oh,
Um.
it feels, and I am grateful for that bed, because I know that bed has held me and going to hold me all night long to a point of getting up differently in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, but it is these things, but they're so small sometimes. People are like, that's so small. Like, wow, there's people who don't have beds, or
Yeah.
appreciate your bed that you've got sheets, because some places around the world they don't have sheets. Not that they know it's sheets, but be grateful for those, not comparing yourself to others, but really be grateful for all those little things that you take for granted,
Mhm.
for granted.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking as you were saying about being grateful for things and realizing that not everybody has this, like maybe not everybody has this bed or has the bed linens, that
Yeah.
the more we immerse ourselves in that energy, this idea of the self-fulfilling prophecy, if I'm having a prophecy of everything that I experience is for my best and highest good, I'm
Yeah.
actually putting
That's
that
a whole that's a whole
in.
different that's a whole different ball game, isn't it? But
Yeah.
that's not hard. People find that one hard.
Do they? How come?
Well, well, people do. People no, yeah. So, well, tell us, people, is that something hard
Yeah,
for you? Because
is that
it's not.
difficult for you? Because you see,
It's
it's
not.
you see, for myself here, so I'm going to tell the truth here.
Yeah.
I do do gratitude practice every single day. sometimes twice a day, but definitely every single day. But I take it as a responsibility. It's me being responsible for the flow of life that's coming through me, that the more gratitude that I have, that kind of goes out into the quantum field. It goes out into the collective energy. So is that even if there are these people that you, like you're saying, have a really hard time being grateful, but maybe I can touch them. Maybe energetically I can just plant a little seed for them to just lighten up a little bit of, oh, there is something. Because we are all connected. Energetically, we are all connected. And so if I continue, that's what I was saying to you about that client conversation that I had about needing to come to heart coherence and create inner peace and calm, because we're actually making a difference to the whole.
Yeah.
But it's not like, oh, people start calling you up and saying, oh, thanks. It's not how it works. This is about the trust too. So the other part too is that to the degree that you see things outside of yourself, like discombobulation and turmoil and trauma and all this change, there's a call to us to do our inner work more, right?
Yeah.
To focus more on that and inside the internal work, to let it ripple out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think about that, and I think, just when you're talking about you're responsible to your life, I think when you start shifting that perspective that I'm actually responsible for my life, not
Mm-hmm.
not the government, not my boss, not my parents, not my children, like you're actually each
Mm-hmm.
individual person here is responsible for themselves. And I'm going to go back to one of Moira's things, and just going to add to that is, how does this make me feel about me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because just when you're being responsible, this makes me feel icky. Like, name it, goes back to that seen, heard, acknowledged, name it. And as soon as you can see it and you're not avoiding it, it just gives a whole different level of power back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Back to you. But I do love that. How does this make me feel about me? And that's one that I often, and I'm sitting there, I'm thinking about something, I'm like, oh, let's just put this back to me. There's
Mm-hmm.
nobody else in the world. What does this make me feel about? If this is a pink flag, I don't want to be part of it. I don't want to wait for it to hit a red flag, because red flags just immobilize me.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I saw that pink flag come in earlier, and so that just pulls me back to me. But one of the things I was thinking about was, apart from that, with that gratitude, is, I know we said trust, and we just might as well have a standard tip
Yeah.
about trust. Just trust. That's all there is to it. Trust.
Yep.
Trust. But what I was thinking about was evidence. Sometimes people want evidence based, not woo woo based. If I say that, that was me when I first came into my business, for sure. I'm going to say that. But evidence based is when you say something and it's delivered differently. Oh, I'm always running late and I miss my plane. And then suddenly one day you're running late and you don't miss your plane.
Ah.
And so that's what I'm talking about. The evidence base is, actually it does work when I do the other way, or when I don't do the other way. So it doesn't have to be so solid and concrete with that. And so then it just surprises you. And I think just having a look at that evidence, seeing that over the 20 times you have thought, I'm going to miss my plane, and you've missed it. Can we not talk about that? Because I'm
Yeah.
flying.
Yeah. We won't talk about it. Cancel.
Cancel about this. Is just an example, universe. It's not true. I don't need the evidence base on this, but just having that evidence just helps you see it. But you're going to focus more on the evidence of not missing the plane than the evidence of missing the plane. But when you do realize that the evidence saying I missed the plane, I want you to go back to that gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not such an icky story that you're holding on to. That gratitude is, what value did I get out of missing that plane?
Yes. And
Who
so
did I Who did I
Yeah.
talk to? Who did I get to connect with? What did I get to learn about myself and those experiences? Because then you've taken that icky situation to, it's back in my heart. Does that all make sense? I felt like I was waffling.
Well, no, it really does, because you know what it reminds me of is you and I had multiple conversations back at the beginning of the pandemic where we were talking about what was the gift and that we created it.
Oh,
I created it, you created it. And I remember us riffing on that. I remember saying I really wanted to work from home. I wanted to work from home and do
yeah,
transition my business from in person to online. Thanks very
yeah.
much. Look what I created.
And for me, I
Right.
got myself into a new relationship and I I wondered how my relationship was going to sustain my travel because my
Hmm.
travel had just started increasing and I didn't know. So I had asked the universe or I had asked whatever it was you want to call it, but
Yeah.
I had said, I want to just build momentum again, but differently. And I
Yeah.
want to see what this relationship looks like.
Right.
Um, now, you know, 5 years on, it's very
But
different.
5 years on, we've created and become
But my travel
self-fulfilling
has
prophecies.
increased. And
Yes, it has.
but we did, and that's those things as going back, seeing what roles you're playing in this, but bringing up that gratitude.
You know, this thing about what you were saying about the evidence base and is it really true? It makes me think of the work of Byron Katie. Well, actually, it's called The Work, but it's by
Yeah.
Byron Katie. And really, Byron Katie's The Work is a whole, it's 4 steps, but it really, really presses pause. I think it's such an important thing to do when you've got a crazy making thinking going on. Oh my God, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. Pause, write it down, and then
Yeah.
ask yourself, do you really know that that's the truth? And then say, do you really, really know that that's the truth?
Yeah, it's like,
And
yes,
then
I do.
and
Yes, I
then
do.
ask yourself, who would I be if I didn't think this, or if I didn't believe this, or if I didn't keep saying this? Who would I be?
Wow.
And then what's the workaround? Well, the workaround is I could just stay present and stay responsible and stay in flow with what is and not get caught up in these stories. Because oftentimes when we pause, and I actually really do invite you to, if you're going to do this, put your hand on your heart, pause.
Mm,
Do I really know that this is the truth?
mm.
Because that can sometimes be enough to call BS on whatever we're going, oh my gosh, and go, you know what? I have no idea. So I'm going to stay open to what's possible and trust that indeed I am in the right place at the right time. I am in flow, right?
That word truth seems to come up so much for me lately. Excuse me as I do a little bit of a yawn, but that no, that truth is really like stop lying to yourself, people.
Mhm.
The moment you go, this relationship's not for me. This My business is not for me. My health is not for me. The way I'm treating myself, the way I'm thinking, the way I'm interacting as soon as you can name it, well, they say name and shame it, but as soon as you can name it, you can actually move through it. But while you're not telling yourself the truth, you're going to keep getting all these alertnesses.
Little wake
And these,
ups.
yeah,
Little.
and some are going to be pretty brutal. But as soon
Mhm.
as you can start going, okay, yep, you're right, this is not for me. This, it just shifts the whole dynamics
Yeah,
more than.
yeah. But you know, sometimes, and this is a law of attraction, Abraham Hicks type of teaching, that
Mm,
sometimes we get too caught up in the I don't like this and I don't like this and this is not working for me and that's not right. However, if we get too see self-fulfilling prophecies, if we keep
yeah.
doing that, we're forgetting that the other side of the equation is in existence already. So if this isn't working for me, what is working for me? If I
Yeah,
don't
see,
like this, what do I like?
duality is at play all the time. So
A
that's
100%.
even, well,
Yep,
that's a tip on its own. I'm just going to write that down.
it absolutely is. You're right. And so that's the thing. And I've talked about this before, is that we live in polarity.
Yeah.
And we can't pretend we don't. So the other thing on this is, so if you think about negative and positive, two ends of the same spectrum, I think that negativity has too much Velcro because too many people get too stuck and hung up on that, and this sucks and this is horrible and I don't like this and I have to fight against this while we're creating more of it. Self-fulfilling prophecy. So what can you do if you just recognize, yes, we live in polarity, there is duality. What can you do to come to neutrality? Because in neutrality, you're actually acknowledging both ends of the spectrum are in existence, but I get to choose now, right? Does that make sense, Deb?
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking of two things. So even just that, what can you do to come to neutrality? Is finding the blessings in that icky situation.
Yeah.
And it can be as simple as that. And I say simple because once you can start going, okay, well, it actually made me decide I'm not going to do that anymore, or it actually made me look at this, or made me look at somebody else. But I think that is just that. That is a way to bring you back to neutrality, to go, okay, I see that. I see that. I just started thinking, just when we were talking about this, I was going, okay, what are those words that I've said to myself? Like, I'm actually now making a note in my head. What are those words you've said to yourself that you got yourself caught up on? Like, Deborah, start making a list of these self-fulfilling prophecies and just start working on them. It's really interesting because here I'm going, oh, my mind's racing. But I had to giggle because Friday, I don't know.
One day recently.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to think of the day. Forget the day. So 2 days ago,
You're listening to Deliciously Motivated Mindset with Deborah and Moira, here to help listeners unlock their full potential so they can thrive, not just survive. They've shared some very powerful insights so far, so it's time to take a moment to breathe, reflect, and jot down any key takeaways. What's one piece of advice that stands out to apply right away? Before wrapping up, Deborah and Moira would love to hear from everyone. Reach out with thoughts, questions, or feedback, and drop your favorite tip from today's episode. They're inspired to see how listeners are putting these insights into practice. Let's dive back in and finish strong.
So I've lost weight. I've got these trousers that are a little bit longer now because they don't sit so high because my hips don't stick out so much. So yeah, that's evidence based. Anyway, I've got these. Yeah, these got these trousers. Thank you. They've got these trousers and they're long. And I said to myself when I put them on, I went, hope I don't trip with these today. I know. I go back to the moment. Hope I don't trip with these today. I must get them taken up. So I thought I'll message my sewing lady. Anyway, I didn't. And then 2 hours later, my toe got caught in one of the trousers, and that I tumbled, and I was at home and I dodged the dogs and I went down and I've got skin taken off my elbow, my knee, and I actually thought I'd broken my toe. My toe was swollen and black. But anyway, I did this whole thing and the dogs thought it was hysterical and they came and played with me and da-da-da-da. And
so they were having a self-fulfilling prophecy. Oh, Mum got down on the floor to play with us.
I know. Oh, the things Mum does. But I started to go, damn trousers. I knew this should have happened. So I started, just as we've been talking here, starting to list to the side of these things to look at where, and realizing that's just one example. I'm not going to give you all the others. That's just one that made me giggle because I went, you did that 2 hours earlier. You said to yourself, you want this done. You said, I want these taken up, because you visualized it, you saw it. So I talk about pink flags and red flags. So I'm bringing up the red flag and pink flag. That's a pink flag. The moment you see the pink flag, start actioning it. Because if you're moving that quickly, and you will be moving that quickly, it's time to put something in place. So recognize those pink flags before they get to the red flag. Now, this obviously wasn't a red flag. This was, I skinned 3 parts of my body, and I think I've broken my toe, which I don't think I have, but it's bloomin' sore. And that's not a red flag. A red flag would be worse. I would have knocked myself out. Like, there was so much more with this red flag. And by the way, they're now at the sewing lady, and she's going to fix them. And, and I told her, she goes, "How many times have you been thinking that about those trousers?" I said, "This is the first." So even she started to recognize it as well. She said, "You don't, the amount of times people see this, but recognize your pink flag before it gets to the red flag," would be the summing up my skin that I've lost in 3 particular places. And the dog said it was a great old time.
Do you know what I was thinking when you were saying that, though, is that if in your example about a pink flag moment, about having the, oh, I hope I don't trip over these. Sometimes we're maybe we're on our way out the door, and we've got a meeting to attend, or an obligation that we're attending to, and so you can't just drop everything and say, oh, I have to fix this, or get my trousers rehemmed. But I think that
Changed my trousers at that moment. I could have just taken them off and changed them.
could have changed them, or made a post-it note of call the seamstress.
Yeah,
To make it a tangible thing, because that offsets the energy, right?
absolutely.
Like,
Yeah,
I've
so
taken ownership for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're saying this is, yes, that is a pink flag. I received the message. Thank you. This is the solution, or this is the resolution. And so conceivably, then the caveat there is that you do have to action I'm going to call so and so at that time when I get back into the house or something, right?
I know with certainty how my life works, and I know with certainty if I'd written that on my list of things to do, because I've got a list of things to do, and I take 3 things off and I add 5 each day. Sometimes.
I'm like that.
I know with certainty if I'd written that down,
that it wouldn't have happened.
I would not. It wouldn't. I know because that's how it happens to me.
Yeah,
like everyone else. But people have to see that. They have to see that in play. But when you were just talking about that, I just wrote be present.
yes.
Just be present, and you'll be able to see it a lot more, and then action it. But you're right, because if I diaried that and then kept moving the diary, I'm still going to fall over. But if I diary that and do it, it cancels that action.
Yep. Yeah, so it's like be present and action what needs to be attended to. And that action can be as simple as writing the entry on your to-do list.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's that seen, heard, acknowledged again, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
But it's also really ascribing to that idea that everything's happening for you, not to you. So even that, oh my gosh, maybe this will happen, that's still for you. And so then attending to, so what's the gift? What's the learning? What's the piece that I'm supposed to do with this? So that actually helps us come into the staying present, being present, and recognizing when it is something to do. You can only recognize that when you pause, or you do some heart coherence breathing, or you get grounded, or you stay present, or in flow, right?
Yeah. Good old pink flags versus red flags, and now I've got skin taken off my have to giggle at that. But I think this is all about us. We are the captain of our own ship again. This is what works for us. And I think I'm going to add in, when we talk about these strategies to manage your self-fulfilling prophecies, I'm going to add in that nothing's set in concrete.
I knew you were going to say that one.
It's been so long since I've said it, but it's not solid. Everything can be movable, but you have to be prepared to move it yourself.
Yeah.
Because we think, oh, this is set and solid. This is the way it is. I have to do this way for the rest of my. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Yeah, says who? Says who? Is that really the truth?
It's the old you from 30 minutes ago. Well, you've changed, okay? You've listened to Deb and Moira for 30 minutes, and now you've changed.
Yep.
So,
ta-da! Self-fulfilling prophecies. So the thing is that if we are all self-fulfilling prophecies, I don't know about you, but wouldn't it be good to choose the most auspicious, most vibrant, prosperous, abundant, and flow
Mm,
version of you? If we're all self-fulfilling prophecies, why don't we go there? It's a
yeah.
choice. You get to choose that.
Yeah, well, you choose you choose you, but knowing that, yeah, your inner circle changes, your outer circle changes, your thoughts and ideas change because of you know what happens in your world. You've watched something and your inner brain changes. You go, oh, now I understand what that means, or blah blah blah. You
Yeah.
know, just just being aware of those things, but you do, yeah.
But
And
also,
when you're living in that, when you're, oh, pardon, when you're living in that area, you attract the most phenomenal people that come into your world. But if you're in that ick below the line world, you're only going to attract in that. Can I,
Mhm.
without, does that make sense? Without being in, I sound like an a-hole. I heard myself and I went, that sounds a-hole-ish. If you're living below the line, you're only going to attract below the line people,
but
to confirm.
it's true, because what it is that the universe the universe responds to our vibration, to our energy. And
Yeah.
so if we are sitting in the self-fulfilling prophecy, my life sucks,
Like
everything
attracts
goes
like.
wrong, it's like that's and so here's the thing though. You could, if you wanted to up level your game, you could recognize, oh, this is it's like you talk about the below the line experience. This is a below the line experience. Thank you. It just alerted me to upping
Mm,
my game, to cleaning out my vibration, to talking with more gratitude and appreciation instead of saying everything sucks, right?
yeah.
Start. The power of words is so important.
Yeah, it is, and it's also and it can be changed as quick as cancel, cancel, cancel.
Yes.
I think that it's not. But when you're, I'm gonna. I know we've come up with our time, but I'm gonna add one other thing in here, and then I know Moira will add a doozy at the end. But I'm gonna add in here. No, I'm not.
Oh,
I actually just had a no. Do you know what? I just had a mind fart. Oh, I
oh,
just went. I'm going to add that. That'll be really great. And then I've completely forgotten what I was going to say.
well then why don't I pick a teabag quote, and
Oh,
then
you
and
do it.
that might actually might actually help you.
What the heck? I was like, this is so relevant. This is perfect to wrap it up. And then,
And then it
well, there you go.
disappeared.
I had a self-fulfilling prophecy. This would be perfect to wrap it up. But
I really like the teabag quote that I picked for this one though. It's a short one, but it says, use your head to live with heart. Isn't
oh,
that awesome? Use your head to live with heart. So, you know what I was saying about the power of words and the recognition of that if there's something's unfolding that doesn't resonate with your heart energy, you can use your head to say, oh, what's the action step? What are the what do I need to request? What do I need to act on? Use your head to live with your heart. I think that's
oh,
beautiful.
I love that. I remember
Mhm.
what I was going to say, but I'm going to do it at
Okay,
the very
good.
end.
Okay.
Can't, my one can't come after that. It has to go before that. Just saying. So listeners, grab your note-taking device because we're going to sum up what we have written down, what we've shared with you today. So if you grabbed your note-taking device, quick, pause, go get it, and come back. Okay. So we are going to sum up our strategies to manage self-fulfilling prophecies. Uh, let's start with number one. I actually went, oh my gosh, I've actually written them all down. So that's when my I was like, I've actually written
Yay!
them all down. I haven't missed anything. I was like, wow, I
That's
just had a moment. I had a moment then. Would you like to start, Moira, since I started the thing? Do you want to start with your tips?
sure thing. The first one that
I
I
do
wrote,
I do have them all written down, by the way.
by the way, the first one that have written down is about us needing heart coherence and getting into that sharing and being the soothing energy to help the collective. Remember who you are in this world, is what I wrote next to that one.
Yeah.
Because
Perfect.
because the inner, if we, to the degree we want to see our self-fulfilling prophecy, we want to see a certain harmonious energy outside of us, it starts inside first.
Mm.
So such an important part.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. The next one I had is the four agreements.
Mhm.
And hallelujah, this came in very quickly
It,
compared to what we usually do. But
yes.
the four agreements, and the one Moira really talked about was the assumptions.
Mhm.
And when you have the assumptions come into you, you can reframe the words to open it up, or you can do the old cancel. I'm going to say it slowly. Cancel, cancel, cancel. And it's just a fun way of actually hearing yourself and actually just reframing them instantly.
Yep.
But be aware of the four agreements. Don't take anything personally. Oh, Maura, you're gonna have to. What are the
Don't
four?
take, so
Google them.
be impeccable with your words. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions and always do your best. Just for today.
Just for today.
Just for
Just for
today.
today.
Yep.
Yeah. So reframe those because it is that simple
Mhm.
to strategies.
Yep.
Okay.
The next one that I had here was one of my favorites that Deb often brings up, is that we all want to be seen, heard, and acknowledged. Now
Mm,
that came in on the heels of the reframing, because reframing actually does allow ourselves to see, hear, and acknowledge what came up. It's like, oh, that was an assumption. I can see it and hear it and reframe it. I acknowledge it by telling a different story, right?
mm. And truth. Tell yourself the truth. Yeah.
Tell yourself the truth.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The next strategy I have is gratitude.
Yep.
Gratitude, gratitude. And know that you are responsible to your life.
Mhm.
You are responsible to your life, for your life, living your life. Nobody else is. But be thankful for what you have and be thankful for what you don't have. So
Mhm.
it's not just looking at, be thankful for your bed. That was what we were like. And they may feel like little things, but when you start to, it's momentum. It's momentum. All
Mhm.
this is momentum. Once you start with it and you keep going, once you start being thankful for things, the world changes.
There's more things that you're thankful for.
I
Mhm.
know that you get more things. So gratitude, gratitude, gratitude.
Yes. Um, and then the gratitude, and you said responsible, being responsible, using my favorite question, how does this make me feel about me?
Oh
That
yeah.
that actually really helps you, but not only does it help you to take responsibility, to realize you are the boss of you, but it
Mm,
helps you also trust yourself more, because that's, we actually put those two together, the gratitude and trust. But trust is an inside job. Trust is a really big strong part on doing the inner work, and that feels like they, all of those weave together so beautifully into a tapestry, the gratitude, the trust, the responsibility, it, and telling yourself the truth is
mm.
these.
Trust and truth. Trust and
Yeah,
truth. Really, truth. The truth. When I go back to this here, truth is literally because I was like, "Where's that word truth?" We talked about it. Truth is actually in every strategy.
yeah, it is.
And I went, why did I not write it down? I went, gratitude, truth. See roles we're playing, seen, heard, acknowledged, truth.
Hmm. Hmm.
Assumptions, truth. Trust, truth. Like they're all, it's truth and
Truth.
trust, or
Yes.
trust and truth.
Yep.
Trust and truth. So I can get that out. I can get that out. The next strategy I have written down is evidence based.
Hmm.
And when we're looking at evidence based, see where you didn't miss the plane. And we
Yeah.
talked about the plane story, but actually see where you didn't. And if you did miss the plane, so there's that part of it there, but also if you did miss the plane, what is it? Oh,
There's fireworks to watch.
you've just got fireworks going on here. And if you did miss the plane, what's the blessings you got out of it? What's the gratitude you got out of it? What's the gifts you got out of that? Because that just again will put a beautiful warm blanket around. Oh, when I do miss the plane, it's actually okay because I
Here's
get
the
some
gift. Yeah.
Yeah, and here's the gift. So you've just literally reframed it there. But look at that evidence base. See where you didn't miss the plane, just so you can flick that switch. But also, and if you did, what's the gifts that came out of this?
Because you are a creator being. You created it.
Yes. Yes.
When you brought that one up, and I love that tip, the evidence base, I talked about Byron Katie's process called the work, in which there's 4 steps where you, if you're saying, is this really true? That's, oh, I'm going to miss my plane. Is this really true? Is it really, really true? And who would you be without that? Well, maybe I would be somebody who knows the routes to take, the best, quickest routes to take to get to the airport. Maybe I
Yeah.
could be that without this story. So I actually really like that whole process. I have a handout. Listeners,
course
if
you
if you're interested, you can pop an email and I will send you my handout on using that process.
Yeah, but it sounds so simple.
It is. That's the beauty of it.
Like it just stops the overthinking. It's like, okay, done.
Mhm.
And that's what we're about. We're eliminating the overthinking. That's why we're giving you these strategies, people. We're
Precisely.
trying to eliminate your overthinking.
Yep.
The one after that, yeah. So please encourage people to jump in and email Moira. And if you email me, I'll just email it to Moira as well. So if you
Yep.
accidentally send it to me. But the other one I've got here, the other strategy I've got is duality is at play all the time.
Yep.
If you can choose to see one side, your mind will see the other when you're present and poised and when you're ready. But from that, it's at play with, and what can you do to come to neutrality is what Moira said, to shift that perspective. And the beautiful part to come to neutrality is what's the gifts in this situation? What's the blessings? And all of a sudden you're like, wow. And that brings you to neutrality so quickly. You're like, actually, this is a bit of a gift. This is a bit of an opportunity for me.
Mhm.
So duality is at play all the time, but sometimes we choose to see one side.
Yes, because negativity has too
Because
much
we can.
Velcro.
Yeah.
Stuck
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah, that's the one.
The next one I have is where you were describing your pink flag moment of your trousers being too long. And so what I wrote, my tip was I underscored multiple times self-fulfilling prophecy. So if you have something comes up like, oh my gosh, I hope this doesn't happen, that you recognize that, you stay present, you acknowledge what you've just felt or what the impulse was, and you make a note of what is the action step. Or if you can take action right then, but if you can't, because like my example was if you're rushing out to an appointment or something and you may not be able to action it, but write it on your list to say, oh, I'm going to phone this person or I'm going to attend to it by doing this, because that is really unpacking the prophecy, right? It's like I'm not allowing that prophecy to come to pass, right?
And that goes back to that seen, heard, acknowledged. You're
Yeah.
seeing yourself, you're hearing yourself, you're acknowledging yourself with the trust and truth in there.
Yep.
Is it what I'm going to do? And the world opens up when you're more leaning in than leaning away.
Precisely. Yeah.
Um,
Nicely said.
thank you. The one I've got is nothing set in concrete.
Yes.
That even if you write it down, you still have to action it.
Yep.
You must contact the seamstress, but you must also action it. So, but in saying that, so nothing set in concrete. Who you were before you listened to this podcast is a different person, because now you've got different insights that your mind is. And I've made a little list on the right hand side while we've been talking of actually my beliefs that have come in. And whether positive or negative that have come in, I'm like, oh, there's just a few of those things I've written to the side from that. So the world is at play all the time, but I can see, hear, and acknowledge it. And knowing that nothing is set in concrete, it's up to you to move it when you're ready. Yeah.
And then the last one I have after that is to choose you. Because like you say, is you still have to action things and you have to act on what you want, but you choose, because this is you taking responsibility. So the other part around that you choosing is to recognize the power of words. Such an important, powerful creation is the power of words. You can't understate how powerful they are, or overstate how powerful they are, right? Because that's how the thoughts become things, right? So it's like, well, if you keep using those types of words, you're actually creating that. That's what I've often said about worry. If worry is creating energy or giving energy to that which you do not want to experience or create, so therefore unhook it. The power of words. And when I talk about the power of words, I'm not just saying the words that you use out your mouth. It's as soon as they've entered your head, the energy's there.
It's
right?
already there. It's
Yep.
already there.
Yep.
Yeah.
You've
What
created
is it?
it.
What you think about, you bring a bit. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give my one last tip, just because it did go into that, what Moira just said before we hear the teabag quote, is pick an inspiring challenge each day. Pick something that is challenging for you to learn, to evolve, to lean in, and pick that, because if you don't pick your own inspiring challenge, you're going to get it from an outside source. And if you've got something that you're focusing on that's incredibly powerful, then pick it. Pick something that you can manage your way.
Yeah.
Instead of letting the world and outside influences pick them for you, because you've got your juices stuck into something.
I like that.
And now we're going to hand over to the teabag quote. I love these.
The teabag quote was really good, though. It's very, in fact, I think it's so on point with this topic of strategies to manage self-fulfilling prophecies. Use your head to live with heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
That just, no, that just, yeah, no. So, listeners, here we go. You know how I'm going to end this podcast again. Are you playing the game of life to the fullest? When you've heard all our strategies to manage self-fulfilling prophecies, and I've got 13 down, by the way. I don't know how many you've got. I've got 13 down here written down. Lucky 13. Just know that what you listen today is sunk in. You may not remember all 13, but it's sunk in right there. So after listening today, what's your highest priority action step? What's your highest priority action step you're going to do today to achieve your inspiration? So from the tips we've shared today, what is your highest priority action step you're going to take today to achieve your inspiration? And then share with us.
Share it. Tell us.
Because we love to hear what you're doing and how you're going with this. So thank you, listeners, for coming today to listen to our strategies to manage self-fulfilling prophecies. We've got another goodie coming up in a week's time. Well, I've read the topic of that, and I've had to have a little giggle at that, what's going on in the world. So that's going to be perfect for us. But thank you for showing up today and listening to us. We value hearing your feedback. We value hearing what worked, what didn't. If you'd like these longer or shorter, let us know, because we're open to all feedback, and we will take it in. Doesn't mean we're going to listen to you, but we'll take it in and we'll look at it. Just, didn't want you to think that just because you say something.
Take it under advisement.
Yeah, we'll take it under advisement. Moira and I will take it under advisement. But let us know, because we do enjoy showing up and sharing our gifts to us. So thank you, listeners, for joining us today. And thank you, Moira, for your golden nugget wisdom that comes from your years of experience, that, oh, I remember this and this and this. And she's got a wealth of knowledge sitting in there. And thank you, Deborah, for taking all the notes today.
I'm impressed. Good for you.
I know. So obviously
That's
that
awesome.
self-fulfilling prophecy is gone now. I'm like, rewritten that story.
She chose to change.
Exactly. I'm done with saying it. So thank you, everybody, for showing up today and listening. And we will see you. You'll hear us on the next call. Thank you, Moira. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Internet. Thank you, listeners. Talk to you next time. Bye.
Thanks. Bye. Bye.
Thank you for tuning into Deliciously Motivated Mindset with Deborah and Moira, where the mission is to help listeners unlock their full potential and thrive, not just survive. As the episode comes to a close, they trust you've gained some powerful insights. If you haven't already, take a moment to reflect on one key takeaway that you'll apply right away. Before we wrap things up, Deborah and Moira would love to hear from you. Reach out with thoughts, questions, or feedback and drop your favorite tip from today's episode. They're inspired to see how you're putting your insights into action. Thanks for listening, and remember to keep thriving.